Friends, sci-fi you want to watch super hit movie Flow in English? Then you must like this video if you are visiting our channel for the first time. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Friends, in today's video. The movie we're going to talk about is called Flow. We will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it, all the interesting facts about this movie in today's video. I'm going to tell you, I'm also going to give you all the information on which OT platform or on which satellite channel you will get to watch this movie. Also, we will talk in detail about the technical department, music department, pre-production, filming, post-production budget, box office collection of this film. We will also talk about this film, and I will also give you a small review of the story of this film. Apart from this, we will discuss about the facts of this film's storyline, star cast, actors' performance in the film, and which character has played which role. That's why I request you friends to watch this video till the ends. So let's start the video. Flow, Latvian Straum, is a 2024 animated adventure film directed by Gints Zilbalodis, written and produced by Zilbalodis and Matiss Kaza. A Latvian, French, and Belgian co-production, it features no dialogue and follows a cat trying to survive along with other animals in a seemingly post-apocalyptic world as the water level dramatically rises. Production of Flow started in 2019 and lasted 4.5 years with the animation done using the free and open-source software Blender. Jacques Tati and future boy Conan served as inspirations for the film. No storyboards were used for the production, and there are no deleted scenes. Flow premiered on the 22nd of May 2024 at the Cannes Film Festival in the Uncertain Regard section and was released in Latvian theaters on the 29th of August. It received critical acclaim and broke several Latvian box office records, becoming the most viewed film in Latvian theaters in history. At the 97th Academy Awards, Flow won Best Animated Feature and was also nominated for Best International Feature Film as Latvia's Submission, becoming the first film from Latvia to receive a nomination and win at the Academy Awards, and also won the Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film. Both statuettes were later put on display at the Latvian National Museum of Art. Plot: a dark gray cat wanders through a forest. A pack of dogs arrives by the river to catch fish. When two dogs fight over a fish, the cat takes the fish and is chased by the dogs. The cat escapes, but notices a deer stampede before it is caught in a flood. The cat and dogs survive the flood and reach higher ground. A yellow Labrador retriever follows the cat to its abandoned cabin with wooden cat sculptures. They both notice the water level rising. The Labrador joins the other dogs on a boat. As the flood consumes the cabin, the cat climbs atop a giant cat statue until the waters reach the top of the statue's head. As the rising water completely submerges the statue, the cat jumps into an approaching sailboat with a capybara aboard. The next morning, as the boat sails through a partially submerged forest, the cat goes overboard and begins to sink while trying to avoid a white secretary bird. A mutated whale saves it from drowning, but another secretary bird seizes it, and during the flight, the cat catches a glimpse of massive stone pillars in the distance. The secretary bird then releases the cat over the boat. Soon after, as the water level continues to rise, the capybara invites a ring-tailed lemur to hop aboard with its basket of trinkets. While sleeping, the cat has a dream where it is being circled by a herd of deer, and looks to the massive stone pillars before being swept away by a flood. The cat then wakes up. Later that day, the three animals land on shore and are joined by the Labrador. They encounter a flock of secretary birds that show hostility toward them, causing the cat to run away. The younger secretary bird that first encountered the cat pleads with the leader to spare its life, only to lose in a duel and have its wing injured before the flock abandons it. With a diminished ability to fly, the secretary bird joins the crew. The crew arrives at a half-submerged city near the base of the massive stone pillars. The Labrador takes the lemur's glass float to the secretary bird to play fetch. The secretary bird kicks it off the boat. The lemur gets angry and starts fighting with the secretary bird, who is steering the boat. Due to loss of control, the boat's mast is caught in a tree. The whale breaches out of the water, and the waves generated help free the boat from the tree. After learning from the capybara, the cat improves its ability to swim and catch fish. Later, the crew sees the other dogs stranded in a bell tower and rescues them. As the boat sails through the huge stone pillars during a heavy storm, the secretary bird flies away. The cat falls off the boat but swims ashore. It climbs the stairs to the top of a stone pillar and finds the secretary bird there on a labyrinth-like carving on the floor. For a short duration, gravity vanishes and a bright portal opens above them. They are both temporarily weightless, but the cat floats back to the ground, while the secretary bird flies toward the light and disappears. The cat rushes down the stairs and tries to swim back to the boat, but it is too far. It finds the lemur's glass float and uses it to stay afloat. The water level drops quickly as massive fault lines open in the earth, draining the water. While roaming through the forest, the cat finds the lemur. They find the boat hanging on a tree. The dogs jump off the boat, but just as the capybara is about to exit, the tree begins to fracture. The cat climbs the tree and passes the boat's rope to the lemur and dogs, who pull the boat toward them. When a rabbit scampers by, the other dogs abandon the Labrador and its friends. The cat falls but is caught by the capybara. They both manage to jump off the boat before it falls with the tree into a ravine below. Just as the crew celebrates, another deer stampede occurs. The cat flees but stops when it comes upon the whale beached in the forest. The cat comforts the whale and looks at the massive stone pillars. Saddened by the whale's loss, the cat sees its reflection in a puddle of water as it is joined by its friends. In a post-credit scene, a whale is seen surfacing on the ocean. Music. The film's score was composed by Zilbalodis and Richard Zalupe and mixed by Mikko Raita. 7 hours of music was composed by Zilbalodis and 50 minutes of it was used in the film. The soundtrack was released on streaming media platforms by Milan Records on the 1st of November 2024. Release: Flow was selected to premiere in the Uncertain Regard section of the 2024 Cannes Film Festival on the 22nd of May 2024. It was the first Latvian film shown in that section since The Shoe in 1998. It was shown at the 2024 Annecy International Animation Film Festival, where it was awarded the Jury Award, the Audience Award, and the Gann Foundation Award for Distribution in the Feature Film category. Flow was submitted to the 2024 Ottawa International Animation Festival, where it received the grand prize for feature animation. The film was also screened at the 2024 Toronto International Film Festival and 2024 Vancouver International Film Festival. The film was invited to Open Cinema at the 29th Busan International Film Festival and was screened at the Outdoor Theatre in October 2024. Flow was screened in competition at the 2024 Melbourne International Film Festival, where it won the Special Jury Award. Flow premiered at the Splendid Palace Cinema in Riga, Latvia on the 28th of August 2024 and was released nationwide the following day by Baltic Content Media. UFO Distribution released the film theatrically in France on the 30th of October 2024. It was given a limited release in the United States by Janus Films and Sideshow in New York and Los Angeles on the 22nd of November 2024 before being released to 200 theaters on the 6th of December. The film was released in Belgium on the 15th of January 2025 by Le Parc Distribution. It opened in 800 theaters in Mexico on the 1st of January 2025. PVR Inox Pictures released Flow in India on the 28th of February 2025. Madman Entertainment released the film theatrically in Australia on the 20th of March 2025. A board game based on the film was released in January 2025. Home media. Flow was released in the UK in 4K Blu-ray by Curzon Film on 30th June 2025. It includes the short films Aqua and Priorities and the making-of documentary Dream Cat. In the United States, Flow will be released in 4K Blu-ray by the Criterion Collection on 23rd September 2025. The Blu-ray includes roughly the same features as the UK release, but also adds Zilbalodis' 2019 debut feature Away. Reception. Box office. Flow has become the most viewed theatrical film in Latvian history. Over 306,000 tickets were sold in Latvia, overtaking Blizzard of Souls to become the most attended film in the country's history. Flow became Janus Films' highest-grossing film in the U.S., with $4 million in ticket sales, surpassing the domestic earnings of Drive My Car 2021, 48. As of June 2025, it had grossed over 50 million euros at the global box office. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 97% of 148 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 8.5/10. The website's consensus reads, "Thanks to its innovative animation and mature themes, going with this flow proves irresistible." Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 87 out of 100 based on 27 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Writing for the New York Times, Callum Marsh noted that the animals act like animals, and that gives their adventure an authenticity that, in moments of both delight and peril, makes the emotion that much more powerful. Jake Coyle of the Associated Press called Flow the best animated film of 2024, writing that the computer-generated animation adds to its dreamy, curiously real surrealism. Christian Blauvelt, writing for IndieWire, gave Flow an A rating and praised it as brimming with sentiment but not sentimentality, and compared its limited dialogue and non-anthropomorphized animals to Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. Actor and director Bill Hader named Flow his favorite film of 2024, saying that he watched it 3 times and that it made him want to get a cat despite being allergic to them. In June 2025, IndieWire ranked the film at number 26 on its list of the 100 best movies of the 2020s so far. In July 2025, it was one of the films voted for the Reader's Choice edition of the New York Times list of the 100 best movies of the 21st century, finishing at number 224. To see one's own reflection is to get immediate proof of your existence in the here and now, of the space you occupy in the world, and perhaps even clues to how the world perceives you. And through that miracle of self-awareness, you may perhaps extend empathy to those around you, also burdened with navigating the perennial compilations of being alive. The dialogue-free 3D CG animated feature Flow from Latvian director Gints Zilbalodis is bookended by animal characters seeing themselves in the mirror-like reflectiveness of a puddle of water. These images brim with profound gravitas, even for a movie whose fundamental concept is communicating in purely cinematic terms. The journey that separates the 2 pensive scenes is the sea between individualism and community. Flow, Latvia's entry for Best International Feature Film at the Oscars, shimmers with the essence of life and the spirit of selfless cooperation. Its narrative clarity makes its fable seem timeless, while innovating and expanding the visual immersion of its medium. Starring an expressive black cat who presumably had an adoring human owner as its protagonist, Flow introduces us to a land devoid of people. Evidence that they once inhabited this forest area exists, but we are likely observing a post-humanity timeline as the earth heals itself from our transgressions. As water rises, flooding everything in its path, the cat finds itself standing on an island of its own, quite literally. A giant statue of a cat, a monument to feline companions, is almost completely submerged, forcing the hero to survive by stepping away from its comfortable isolation. Man-made structures disappearing underwater, swallowed by the ocean, convey an invitation to drowning one's own ego, making room for a collective mindset as we face extinction. Later, the insignificance of human ambitions against nature is reinforced as a whale swims through the ruins of what once were the streets of a city. The cat finds safety on a sailboat on which a lethargic capybara drifts through the flooded landscape. Soon, a perpetually jolly Labrador dog, a majestic secretary bird, and an unruly lemur join them. In the distance, a range of slim but high mountain peaks seems to guide the furry and feathered adventurers who must rely on each other. Their relationships are tested and reinforced through a subtle rubbing of noses, the generous gesture of sharing food, or, in a higher stakes instance, the decision to stand up to a flock, risking violence and vanishing to protect an innocent new friend. The bird takes on a leadership position, asserting dominance communicated in its upright posture that stands high above the others. Each species is animated in ways that demonstrate its personality, But the cat's curiosity about its fellow travelers and its surroundings with its large observant eyes nourishes their bond. The enveloping, fluid movement of the camera through the luminous environments creates the illusion that the events are occurring spontaneously in front of us, despite being impeccably orchestrated to the most minute detail. Zilbalodis' animation style replicates life's unpredictability with a dazzling naturalness, following the creatures in long takes that go from water to the safety of their boat without ever leaving their side. The artist's detailed confection of the lush greenery, the architecture, and the texture of the water has a staggering effect, somewhere between painterly and lifelike. But don't mistake this for the soulless hyperrealism of Disney's live-action, but really hybrid and sometimes fully animated adaptations of their hand-drawn masterpieces. 2019's The Lion King comes to mind as the most obscene example. The characters in Flow have a graphic, stylized quality to their design, particularly noticeable in how light interacts with the shade of color on their bodies. Zilbalodis' attention to the animals' behaviors as they affect each other makes for a vibrant microcosm, a miniature society aboard their vessel where one entity's actions have repercussions for the entire crew, such as allowing newcomers into their ecosystem. Conflict arises from time to time, as in any group, but without fully anthropomorphizing them, Zilbalodis conceives this disparate gang of friends in order to embody the best of us. Still, the director goes beyond merely representing their instinct to remain alive and interiority and inherent spirituality in the form of a dream, where the cat sees a herd of deer running away from the surging water, and in how it depicts a death. The latter is one of the most singularly gorgeous sequences of any movie this year. Sporadically used to supplement the rich soundscape that's so integral to engaging with this vivid realm, the score, co-composed by Zilbalodis and composer Richard Zayupe, resonates with a sublime minimalism while heightening tension and tranquility. Making faces in a hand mirror found among the objects left behind by the boat's former owners, the lemur seems to assert a sort of personhood, then selflessly shares that discovery with others. It's as if these animals reflect the noble qualities within us. In their reflection, we have an opportunity to reflect as well. In all their unspoken wisdom, they are trying to tell us we can only save ourselves if we see ourselves as part of a whole, and not as distinct factions warring over trivialities. As we confront our imminent climate crisis and the many other cataclysms that plague our reality, we'll only have each other to make it through. Flow boasts a hopeful outlook. It suggests these storms won't be permanent and that the deer will freely run through the forest again. Life, in all its splendor and blameless tragedy, will, indeed, flow. Flow Review. Latvian animator Gints Zilbalodis follows mesmerizing away with an endearing cat's incredible journey. Radically different from the look or feel of other tunes, and yet strangely video game-like in its design, the hypnotic CG feature follows a group of animals adapting to a waterlogged world. An adorable black cat with luminous amber eyes fends for itself in Flow, snatching a fish from a pack of distracted mutts and dashing off with its loot while the dogs chase just a few seconds behind. Visionary animator Gints Zilbalodis' virtual camera swoops after the cat, revealing a crisp computer-generated world where humans are oddly absent, but their influence can be acutely felt. Perhaps that explains what happens next, as a near-biblical flood of water, which may well be the result of human-made climate change, though Zilbalodis never specifies, brings a herd of wild animals stampeding in its direction. The cat's ears flatten, and it crouches low to the ground, much like the Lion King did in that film's iconic wildebeest scene, as a giant wave comes thundering after the deer. Seconds later, the forest is underwater, and the cat is desperately trying to stay afloat. The deer seem to have disappeared entirely, as things tend to do in a film that remains doggedly committed to its lead cat. This impressive opening shot lasts more than 4 minutes, and simply wouldn't be possible in live action for as many reasons as a cat has whiskers. Even with the use of drones, cameras can't move as nimbly through space as Zilbalodis conveys us, achieving an instant kinship between audiences and his feline protagonist. But there's also the obvious fact that no filmmaker could train animal actors to do what Zilbalodis' imagination demands, as suggested by that apocryphal story of multiple kittens being dropped off a cliff to get the shot in The Adventures of Milo and Otis. In practically every respect, Flow could only be animated. And it could only be animated as hypnotically as this by Zilbalodis, the one-man world builder responsible for the 2017 indie marvel Away. At his new film's Cannes premiere, the young Latvian auteur explained how, after a solitary 3.5 years dedicated to the making of Away, Flow represents the supportive coming together of a team, a notion that becomes increasingly clear as the cat's survival depends on the other species it encounters along its captivating journey. Little by little, the ensemble expands to include elegant cranes and bauble-hoarding lemurs, a Lovecraftian whale, and a random capybara, each of which comes to the cat's aid at different points in its travels. The animals don't talk in Flow, but they don't behave quite like animals either, as when they commandeer an abandoned sailboat. Still, their silence marks a crucial difference between this project and the relatively anthropomorphic tradition of American cartoons, even if Zilbalodis intends for us to read a human allegory into what his cast experiences over an epic 85 minutes. The dogs are the first animals to break character, piling into a rowboat as the water rises and beckoning the cat aboard. Whereas they'd been chasing the black cat just before, the pack now seem to recognize the greater crisis and extend a helping paw. Although one of the movie's challenges is how to read the motivations of animals limited to a narrow range of expressions. Consider this. The film is about a wary creature learning to trust others. Flow is something of an anomaly in that it puts greater weight on rich, impeccably lit environments than it does on character animation. That's consistent with Zilbalodis' style. Away featured just one person who never spoke and barely emoted, and yet, seeing as how the director has a team of collaborators this time around, it's reasonable to expect that the animals' performances be more nuanced. Crafted with Blender's rapidly evolving graphics software, the movie looks a bit like a high-resolution video game, Myst comes to mind, or a very fancy screensaver, where the critters appear suspended against all those dazzling 360-degree vistas, with little sense of weight or gravity. If anything, the film's many long, floating plan sequences make everything feel slightly more artificial. That might not bother young viewers, but it defies the physics-based principles of CGI. Though Flow looks pleasing to the eye, it isn't expressionistic enough in style to forgive these technical shortcomings. You know that feeling when you revisit a computer-animated cartoon that blew you away at the time? Say an early Shrek installment or the now prehistoric Ice Age, and realize that a few years on the technology doesn't hold up? The trouble with Flow is that it already looks dated. Commendable to be sure, yet rudimentary at the same time. It's as if Zilbalodis decided to dump an ocean's worth of water in the uncanny valley. Still, animal-loving viewers will bond almost instantly with the cat and its motley companions. From Gigi, the feline sidekick in Kiki's Delivery Service, to Bob, who stole the show in Skydance's Luck, this movie's nameless star has tough competition from other animated black cats. But it's tough to resist those golden eyes, or the way Flow incorporates all kinds of endearingly cat-like behavior, from knocking objects off ledges to swatting at the lemur's dangling tail. That darn cat may have started out as a loner, but by the end, this small cadre of creatures have saved one another enough times to be inseparable. Flow illustrates that beautifully via a group reflection that contrasts beautifully with the opening shot of the cat staring down and seeing only himself in the water. Don't scamper off the instant the credits roll, as there's a satisfying glimpse of one character's fate hidden at the end. I was totally enchanted by Flow. I expected to like it, as I usually do sitting down to watch something. I hoped to be engaged by it, and maybe to wonder at it, but I wasn't prepared to be as moved by it as I was. It's become my favorite animated movie of the year, though I note with interest that it and my two other contenders, Robot Dreams and The Wild Robot, all feel like siblings in a Wittgensteinian family. Flow is the most experimental of the three, and also the most focused. To explain its gentle magic, I'm going to do something critics usually reserve for tossed-off derision. Invoke video games. I thought about video games a lot watching Flow, and that was a key part of how I responded to it. The film seems to call upon the language of them, and not just in the animation, which was rendered entirely in Blender and mixes non-photoreal aesthetics with remarkably accurate animal movement. It's the world, which straddles the real and unreal, and how we're placed in it. The effect is that of a tricky balance struck exactly right. Flow is set in a forest, though it's unclear where on Earth this forest could be. The fauna make that a little complicated. The protagonist is an ordinary black house cat whose perspective we become closely attuned to. It's a solitary creature, dodging packs of dogs and predatory secretary birds, but it was clearly loved once. It takes refuge in an abandoned cabin adorned with more than life-size carvings of it in various positions and overlooked by a Mount Rushmore-style carving of it into a mountain. It's unclear when the human occupants left or where they went, but we soon understand why. One day, out of the blue, the forest is overtaken by an enormous flood. The water rises until only the peaks of mountains provide refuge. Our cat, by the skin of its teeth, survives, and it eventually comes across a capybara in a small weathered sailboat. This vessel gathers a ragtag group of survivors over time, picking up a ring-tailed lemur, a secretary bird, and a yellow Labrador. As they traverse this new world, these strangers must find ways to coexist. Flow's animals are animals, mostly. Physically, they aren't anthropomorphized, moving and behaving in ways identifiable with their species. The film is dialogue-free, from our perspective at least, though anyone with a cat or dog will understand their vocalizations quite clearly. But they're also characters, capable of more than acting on instinct. For example, the sail of this little boat is beyond its sailors, but the rudder is not. The touch of the unreal is light, but the line this movie walks is still quite a challenge. The trick, and where writer-director Gints Zilbalodis displays a real gift, is timing. The animals lean realistic early on, and when the flood came, I thought about our environment and the effect of the crises to come on the natural world. When Zilbalodis wants us to think about more human themes, tribalism, found family, loss, he shows us a cat frantically pushing the rudder to avoid crashing into a tree. I never felt disconnected from reality, nor did I feel the need to enforce its boundaries. If I ever doubted whether something was realistic, a thought that has been taking audiences out of movies since time immemorial, the story world was elastic enough to transition me into metaphor without breaking the spell. This is, to some extent, a benefit of animation as a medium. But even the more unreal The Wild Robot leaves you wondering how that island survives with its post-Kumbaya ecosystem. What Flow achieves takes real skill. When a film is compared to a video game in a review, it's often to call its artfulness into question. The critic has an issue with the quality of CGI, or even just its prevalence. Perhaps the level of violence is objectionable, and the approach to it repetitive and numbing. The movie is too unreal to be felt. They were pushed away by it rather than drawn in and, ideally, challenged by it. However disrespectful this may be to video games as an art form, it also gets them fundamentally wrong. Games involve their players by their very nature. The imagery creates a distance from reality. True, if the things done in games truly looked and felt real, most people would probably run screaming. But players can find themselves immersed in a new, unreal world, one with its own rules and history to be learned through discovery. Flow is all about managing the push and pull of distancing and immersion. It feels at times like an open-world game, the camera's gaze curious and exploratory. With no dialogue to explain itself to us, the film teaches through its details, giving us the responsibility of piecing things together. The cat may not have been playable, but my investment in its journey was similar. Zilbalodis asks us not to spectate, but to share the perspective of this character, to be a passenger on this odd little lifeboat. I found my experience at this nexus of cinema and video games quite emotional. At the same time, this world is not our own. In attuning yourself to it, you adjust to its differences and accept what can happen here that couldn't in reality. But the design makes clear the film doesn't wish to smooth over all potential alienation. A little distance encourages us to think about what we're seeing, not just to feel our way through it. And this movie has a lot to say about making one's way through a world in crisis. Flow makes us think and feel in equal measure. It is rare to find a film that speaks so clearly to our current moment with form as well as content. Don't let this one slip by you. The film's flow and rhythm sound design team created an immersive auditory experience layering ambient sounds, character movements, and environmental effects from the gentle rustling of leaves to the thunderous roar of magical storms. Every sound was designed to feel authentic and enhance the visual storytelling. Advanced techniques like binaural recording and spatial audio were employed to give the audience a three-dimensional sound experience, particularly in action-packed or magical sequences. Music integration, the score, composed and recorded during production, was carefully integrated into the final film. The music team worked with the editors to ensure that the transitions between score and silence were seamless, and that key musical cues aligned perfectly with on-screen events. Dynamic mixing allowed the music to ebb and flow, with the narrative highlighting emotional beats without overpowering dialogue or sound effects. Visual effects polishing. While much of the visual effects work was completed during production, the post-production phase focused on refining and enhancing these elements. Effects like glowing magical energy fluid simulations and dynamic lighting were polished for consistency and visual impact. This phase also included the addition of subtle details, such as background animations and atmospheric effects, to enrich the visual experience. Color grading. The film underwent extensive color grading to unify its aesthetic and convey the desired mood. Warm, vibrant tones were emphasized during uplifting moments, while cooler, darker hues dominated scenes of tension and conflict. The color grading team ensured that the film maintained a cohesive visual language, balancing fantasy vibrancy with naturalistic undertones, voiceover refinement, and ADR during post-production. Additional dialogue recording ADR sessions were conducted to refine or replace certain voice lines. This process ensured clarity and emotional resonance in the characters' performances. Background voice elements such as crowd murmurs and off-screen dialogue were also added to enhance the world's realism. Special audio effects. The audio team employed advanced techniques to create unique soundscapes for magical and fantastical elements. For instance, the sound of flowing water was layered with subtle harmonic tones to evoke the mystical properties of rivers in the film. These auditory innovations added depth and texture to the world of flow test screenings and feedback. The film was screened for select audiences, including industry professionals, fans of animated features, and general viewers. Feedback from these screenings was invaluable in identifying areas for improvement, such as clarifying narrative points, adjusting pacing, or enhancing character moments. The team used this input to make targeted edits, ensuring the film resonated with a wide audience. Final mix and mastering. Once all visual and audio elements were completed, the film underwent a final mix and mastering process. This involved balancing audio levels, ensuring consistent volume across dialogue, music, and effects, and achieving a cinematic sound quality. The visuals were rendered in multiple formats, including 4K and HDR, to cater to diverse viewing platforms. Subtitle and localization to prepare flow for international release. Subtitles in multiple languages were created, and dubbing teams were enlisted for major markets. The localization process ensured that the film's cultural nuances and humor were effectively adapted for global audiences, maintaining the story's essence across languages. Packaging for distribution. The final version of Flow was packaged for theatrical release, streaming platforms, and physical media. This included creating different versions optimized for cinema projection, OTT streaming, and Blu-ray DVD formats. Bonus content such as behind-the-scenes featurettes and director's commentary was also produced for home media releases. Marketing tie-ins. The post-production team collaborated with marketing to produce trailers, teasers, and promotional clips. These M materials were designed to showcase the film's stunning visuals, compelling music, and emotional depth, building excitement among potential audiences ahead of its release. Archival and asset management. After completion, all assets, including animation files, concept art, and sound, recordings were meticulously archived for future use. This step ensured that the film's creative and technical materials were preserved for possible sequels, spin-offs, or historical documentation. Budget overview. Total production budget. The production budget for Flow 2024 was estimated at $45 million, a significant investment for a independent animated feature. This budget was carefully allocated to ensure that the film achieved its ambitious artistic and technical goals while maintaining cost efficiency. Breakdown of expenses. Pre-production. A considerable portion of the budget, approximately $5 million, was dedicated to pre-production. This phase included concept art development, world building, script writing, voice casting, and initial marketing efforts. The intricate design of the fantasy world and characters required hiring top-tier artists and writers, as well as conducting extensive research to ensure cultural and narrative authenticity. Animation and production. Around $25 million was allocated to the animation process, the largest single expenditure. The hybrid animation style, combining hand-drawn elements with CGI, required specialized tools, software, and skilled animators. The production team also invested in motion capture technology and advanced rendering engines to create the film's visually stunning effects. Voice cast and sound design. Approximately $8 million was spent on voice casting, recording sessions, and sound design. The studio enlisted high-profile and emerging voice talents, ensuring top-quality performances that brought the characters to life. The music score and sound effects also required significant resources, including orchestral recordings and advanced mixing techniques. Marketing and promotion. The marketing budget was estimated at $6 million. This included global advertising campaigns, partnerships with streaming platforms, social media promotions, merchandise, tie-ins, and appearances at major film festivals. Teasers, trailers, and behind-the-scenes content were strategically released to build anticipation. Post-production. The post-production process, including editing, special effects, polishing, and color grading, consumed $3 million additional. Funds were allocated for finalizing the master prints, creating localized versions for international markets, and producing bonus content for physical media releases. Contingency and miscellaneous. About $2 million was reserved as a contingency fund to address unforeseen expenses such as delays or additional post-production work. Box office performance. Opening weekend. Flow debuted on with an opening weekend gross of $18 million in the United States. The film opened in approximately 3,500 theaters and benefited from strong word of mouth and in a robust marketing campaign. The weekend gross exceeded initial projections of $12 to $15 million, signaling strong interest from both family audiences and animation enthusiasts. Domestic performance. The film performed steadily in the domestic market, grossing $85 million by the end of its theatrical run. Its blend of heartfelt storytelling, innovative animation, and universal themes resonated with a diverse audience, ensuring sustained ticket sales weeks after its release. Repeat viewership, particularly among families, contributed significantly to its domestic success. International performance. Flow also achieved remarkable success overseas, grossing $120 million. Across international markets, the film was particularly well received in countries with a strong appreciation for animation, such as Japan, South Korea, and France. The localized marketing strategies, including dubbing and subtitling in over 30 languages, helped the film connect with global audiences. Key markets. Japan. Flow grossed $30 million. Making it one of the highest-grossing foreign animated films of the year. The film's artistic style and themes of Nature and harmony resonated deeply with Japanese audiences. China, with a gross of $25 million, the film's eco-conscious message and stunning visuals appealed to. The growing animation market in China-Europe countries such as France, $15 million, Germany, $10 million, and the United Kingdom, $12 million contributed significantly to the film's international earnings. Latin America Flow earned $8 million in markets like Mexico and Brazil, where its themes of family and community found a receptive audience. Streaming and home media revenue streaming rights after its theatrical release. Flow was acquired for exclusive streaming rights. The deal was reportedly valued at $25 million, making it one of the most lucrative streaming acquisitions for an independent animated film in recent years. The film's availability on a major platform significantly expanded its reach, attracting millions of viewers worldwide. Home media sales. The Blu-ray and DVD release of Flow generated an additional $10 million in revenue. Special editions featuring behind-the-scenes content, director's commentary, and concept art proved particularly popular among collectors and animation fans. Merchandising and tie-ins. The film's merchandising campaign, which included toys, apparel, and storybooks, added approximately $15 million to its total revenue. Partnerships with eco-friendly brands for sustainable merchandise aligned with the film's themes and enhanced its marketability, critical acclaim, and audience impact on box office. Critical response. Critics lauded Flow for its groundbreaking animation, compelling storytelling, and emotional depth, which contributed to its strong box office performance. Its positive reviews and a 95% rating on further boosted audience interest. Awards and recognition. The film's award buzz, including nominations for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score, helped maintain momentum at the box office. These accolades validated the film's quality and encouraged hesitant viewers to watch it overall. Financial outcome. Total gross revenue. The combined earnings from theatrical release, streaming rights, home media sales, and merchandising brought Flow's total revenue to an impressive $255 million net profit after deducting the production and marketing costs. The film's net profit was approximately $200 million, a substantial return on investment for an independent production. Conclusion. Flow 2024 stands as a testament to the power of innovative storytelling and meticulous production planning. Its financial success not only highlights its universal appeal, but also establishes it as a benchmark for independent animated films. The film's ability to resonate with global audiences, coupled with its profitability across multiple revenue streams, solidifies its legacy as both a critical and commercial triumph. Unique facts about the movie. Groundbreaking animation style. Hybrid animation. Flow uses a unique blend of traditional hand-drawn animation and cutting-edge CGI. This hybrid style creates a vibrant, textured world where the organic feel of hand-drawn elements contrasts beautifully with the precision of digital effects. Dynamic fluid simulations. The depiction of water and energy flows in the film required custom-built software to create realistic yet fantastical simulations. The flow effects were inspired by natural physics, but infused with a magical aesthetic, giving the film its signature look. Conscious themes, environmental message. The film is rooted in an eco-conscious narrative, highlighting the importance of harmony between humans and nature. Its story revolves around repairing a fractured ecosystem, resonating with modern audiences concerned about environmental sustainability. Sustainable production practices. The production team committed to sustainability, using renewable energy sources for studio operations and minimizing waste during the animation process. Merchandise associated with the film, such as toys and apparel, was also made from eco-friendly materials. Cultural inspirations, mythology, and folklore. Flow draws heavily from diverse global mythologies, including elements from Celtic, Japanese, and Native American folklore. The film weaves these inspirations into its world building, creating a rich and culturally inclusive Fantasy setting, language and writing systems. The fictional language used in the film was meticulously constructed, complete with its own grammar, and alphabet linguists were consulted to design a script that looks authentic while being easy to understand visually. Innovative sound design, naturalistic. Audio sound designers recorded real-world natural elements such as rushing, rivers, rustling leaves, and bird calls to create an immersive auditory experience. These sounds were then layered with synthesized effects to give the world a magical yet grounded feel. Interactive. Music score. The film score adapts dynamically to the on-screen action. For instance, as the characters interact with the environment, the background music subtly incorporates sounds from the scene, such as the tinkling of water or the hum of energy flows. Diverse and inclusive casting, global voice. Talent. The voice cast includes actors from various cultural backgrounds, ensuring authentic representation for the film's diverse characters. This inclusivity enriched the storytelling and resonated with audiences worldwide. Inclusive characters. The characters were designed to reflect a wide range of identities, breaking away from traditional archetypes often seen in fantasy films. For example, Leora, a major character, was intentionally written as gender fluid, adding depth to the narrative's exploration of identity. Technological innovation, AI-assisted animation tools, while hand-drawn artistry remains central to the animators used AI-driven tools to optimize workflows such as frame interpolation and background rendering. This innovation reduced production time without compromising quality. Custom render engine. A bespoke render engine was developed to achieve the film's unique visual style. This engine allowed the seamless integration of hand-drawn textures with 3D lighting and shading, unconventional storytelling, non-linear narrative. The story unfolds in a non-linear manner with flashbacks and dream sequences revealing key plot points. This narrative approach kept audiences engaged and encouraged them to piece together the story as it progressed. Themes of balance and duality. The film explores duality, such as chaos and order, past and future, and human in nature, weaving them into every aspect of its story. Visuals and characters, collaborative creation, fan involvement. During pre-production, the filmmakers engaged with animation enthusiasts and fans through online forums and workshops. Feedback from these interactions influenced character designs and plot elements. Community-driven marketing. The film's marketing campaign included crowdfunding elements where fans could contribute to the project in exchange for exclusive content or mentions in the credits. Real world impact. Educational campaigns. Partnering with environmental organizations, the filmmakers launched educational programs and workshops for children using the film story to teach sustainability and conservation. Art exhibits. Original concept art and character designs were featured in traveling exhibits celebrating the artistry behind the film and giving fans a deeper appreciation of its creation. Award-winning features. Accolades for innovation. Flow received multiple awards for its groundbreaking animation techniques and socially relevant themes, including recognition at the International Animation Festival and nominations for major industry honors like the Academy Awards. Impact on independent animation. As an independent film, Flow has been hailed as a game changer, proving that small studios can compete with major players in the animation industry by focusing on creativity and originality. Merchandising. Revolution eco-friendly products. The film's merchandise line set a new standard for sustainability in the entertainment industry. Toys made from biodegradable materials and clothing crafted from organic cotton reinforced the film's environmental message. Augmented reality AR experiences. Special AR-enabled products allowed fans to interact with the film's world in new ways. For instance, scanning a toy or book with a smartphone unlocked exclusive scenes or character interactions. Legacy and influence. Inspiring future projects. The success of Flow has inspired other independent studios to pursue ambitious projects, pushing the boundaries of animation and storytelling. Cult Following the film's rich world-building and complex characters have garnered a dedicated fan base with discussions and fan creation's thriving online conclusion flow. 2024 stands out as a masterclass in innovation, inclusivity, and artistry. Its unique blend of technological advancements, cultural authenticity, and environmental themes have not only set a new benchmark in animation, but also left a lasting impact on audiences worldwide. Audience reception and critical acclaim of Flow 2024 audience perception. Initial reactions upon its release, Flow immediately resonated with audiences of all ages and demographics, becoming a cultural phenomenon. Viewers praised its imaginative storytelling, stunning animation, and universal themes, sparking conversations online and offline. The film earned an audience score of 94% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 9.2 SL10 rating on IMDb, reflecting widespread approval. Family appeal. Families appreciated the film's heartwarming narrative, which provided lessons on courage, teamwork, and environmental stewardship. Children were captivated by the vibrant characters and magical visuals, while adults found depth in the film's allegorical messages and emotional moments. Global reception. In international markets, Flow was embraced for its universal themes and cultural inclusivity. Audiences in Japan, France, and South Korea, known for their appreciation of animated artistry, particularly lauded the film's craftsmanship and its underlying ecological message. Fan engagement and legacy. The film quickly garnered a devoted fan base, leading to a surge in fan art, social media discussions, and online forums dedicated to dissecting its intricate narrative and world building. Several scenes, such as Aaron's transformation moment and the climactic resolution of the Flow disruption, became iconic, frequently referenced in memes. And fan edits. Merchandising success. Fans flocked to purchase eco-friendly merchandise, from collectible toys to graphic novels based on the film's special edition releases, and AR-enhanced products added another layer to the viewing experience, further solidifying audience loyalty. Repeat viewership. Flow became a rewatchable favorite due to its multi-layered storytelling, and detailed visuals. Viewers often discovered new subtleties with each watch, leading to multiple visits to theaters and repeat streaming sessions. Critical acclaim. Critical overview. Critics universally praised Flow as a masterpiece of animated filmmaking, applauding its narrative depth, groundbreaking visuals, and thematic relevance. It earned a rare 95% on the Critics' Tomato Meter and received glowing reviews from major publications. Storytelling and narrative depth. Innovative plot. Critics celebrated Flow's non-linear storytelling, which challenged conventional animated film structures. The intertwining of flashbacks, dream sequences, and present-day events kept audiences engaged and elevated the film above traditional adventure plots, themes, and messages. The film's exploration of environmental balance, personal growth, and community interconnectedness was hailed as timely and profound. Critics admired how these messages were seamlessly woven into the narrative without feeling preachy. Visual and technical excellence. Animation quality. Reviewers were unanimous in praising the film's visual appeal. The hybrid animation style, combining hand-drawn artistry with state-of-the-art CGI, was described as breathtaking and redefining the limits of animated storytelling. Environmental aesthetics. The natural landscapes depicted in the film were lauded for their intricate details and lifelike beauty, from the glistening rivers to the lush forests. The visual representation of the Flow energy was particularly highlighted as a mesmerizing and innovative design choice. Character development and voice acting. Rich characterization. The characters of Flow were praised for their depth and relatability. Aaron's emotional arc was described as empowering, while Kale and Leora were noted for their complexity and compelling backstories. Voice performances. Critics commended the cast for their emotive voice work, which brought the characters to life. Particular praise was directed at the actor portraying Aaron, whose nuanced performance captured her vulnerability and resilience. Music and sound design. Original score. The film's score, composed by insert composer name, was described as hauntingly beautiful and perfectly attuned to the film's emotional beats. The blending of orchestral music with organic sounds was praised as a creative and immersive choice. Sound effects. The sound design, particularly in scenes depicting the flow energy, was highlighted as a standout aspect. Critics noted how the auditory elements enhanced the magical atmosphere of the film. Awards and recognition. Festival appearance won International Animation Festival. Premiering at 1, Flow received a standing ovation and won the prestigious Best Feature Film Award. Critics at the festival praised its artistic ambition and universal appeal. Toronto International Film Festival TIFF. The film was featured as a centerpiece presentation where it was lauded as a transformative work in the realm of Animation Major Awards. Academy Awards nominated for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Score. Flow was a strong contender at the Oscars, with its animation style and music receiving special mention during the ceremony. Golden Globe Awards won Best Animated Feature Film, beating several major studio productions. Critics' Choice Awards, recognized for Best Visual Effects and Best Voice Acting Ensemble, showcasing the talent behind the film's technical and vocal artistry, cultural and industry impact, raising the bar for independent animation as an independent production. Flow proved that smaller studios could compete with industry giants by focusing on storytelling, artistic innovation, and films. The groundbreaking animation techniques and hybrid visual style of Flow are expected to influence the industry for years to come. Major studios and smaller companies alike have already begun exploring similar techniques in their upcoming projects. Educational and social impact. The film's environmental themes sparked discussions in classrooms. Environmental organizations and online platforms, teachers and activists used Flow as a tool to educate about conservation and the importance of ecological harmony. Conclusion. Flow 2024 achieved a rare combination of commercial success, critical acclaim, and cultural resonance. Its universal themes, innovative visuals, and emotionally compelling narrative have earned it a lasting place in the history of animated cinema. Whether through its artistic contributions or its messages of environmental stewardship, Flow continues to captivate audiences and inspire filmmakers around the globe. Storyline of Flow 2024. Flow is a rich animated fantasy adventure set in a world where nature and magic are deeply intertwined. The story revolves around Aaron, a young water guardian who embarks on a journey to restore balance to a fractured ecosystem after an ancient energy source known as the Flow is corrupted synopsis in a lush mystical realm called Ice Life. Thrives thanks to the Flow, a powerful magic iCal energy that flows through rivers, skies, and plants, maintaining the harmony between nature and the inhabitants. The Flow, however, is more than just energy. It is a living entity that binds everything together, imbuing the world with life, beauty, and vitality. The conflict, one day the Flow begins to weaken, causing the environment to deteriorate. Rivers dry up, plants wither, and wildlife starts to disappear. The guardians, ancient beings tasked with protecting the Flow, notice the disturbance, but are powerless to stop it. Something dark has tainted the Flow from within. Aaron, a novice water guardian, experiences the first signs of this disturbance when her home, a sacred grove where the Flow flows strongest, becomes increasingly barren. Guided by the echoes of the Flow, Aaron discovers that the corruption comes from an ancient artifact called the Veil, a magical amulet created by a forgotten civilization. The Veil was once used to harness the Flow, but has since fallen into the wrong hands, leading to its destabilization. Aaron's journey, driven by a mix of desperation to save her homeland and a deep desire to fulfill her late mother's legacy, Aaron sets out on a perilous journey to find the Veil and restore the Flow's balance. Along the way, she encounters an unlikely group of companions. Kale, a young earth mage with a mysterious past and a fierce commitment to protecting nature. Leora, a wise and enigmatic spirit bound to the flow, who provides cryptic guidance, but also holds secrets about the origins of love. The Veil, Orin, a rogue thief with a hidden agenda whose skills in tracking and manipulation make him both a help and a hindrance together. This diverse group must navigate treacherous landscapes, confront ancient guardians, and unravel hidden truths about the blood. Veil's origins, secrets that could either save or doom their world. The core conflict as Erin's journey deepens. She discovers that the corruption of the flow isn't just an external threat. It stems from within the Veil, long believed to be a tool for maintaining balance, has now transformed into a source of darkness feeding on negative emotions. Greed and desire for control, the corruption is driven by the Shadow Weavers, a secretive cult seeking to harness the Veil's power for their own selfish ends. The Shadow Weavers are manipulating the flow to bend nature to their will, creating unnatural weather patterns and draining energy from the land. They seek to unleash the full potential of the Veil, turning the natural world into their empire. Their leader, Vestra, a sorceress once aligned with the Guardians, now seeks domination and has enslaved powerful creatures to bolster her influence. Themes and Messages Flow delves into themes of harmony versus imbalance, power and its consequences, sacrifice, and the resilience of nature and spirit. The story highlights the interconnectedness between all living things and the responsibility that comes with using powerful forces like the flow through Erin's journey. The film underscores the importance of self-discovery, collaboration, and trust as central to restoring balance. Each character, with their unique skills and backgrounds, plays an essential role in tackling the corruption of the flow, emphasizing the strength that comes from unity. Climactic confrontation. As the group closes in on the Veil's location, they face their greatest challenge yet, Vestra and her army of Shadow Weavers. The final battle takes place at the heart of the flow, a sacred river where the Veil's energy source resides. Here, Erin must confront her deepest fears, while her companions use their combined strengths to fend off Vess's forces. Erin's power grows exponentially as she taps into the pure essence of the flow, channeling its energy to restore the land's health. But as she does, so she realizes that true power lies not just in controlling the flow, but in understanding and nurturing it. A lesson passed down from her mother and the ancient guardians' resolution. In the film's emotional climax, Erin, with the help of her friends, sacrifices part of her connection to the flow to sever the Veil's corrupting influence. The Veil shatters, freeing the flow from its dark, cursed nature begins to heal. Rivers flow again and the land blooms. The group returns home forever changed by their journey. Erin emerges as a more mature and confident guardian, committed to protecting the flow and sharing its wisdom with others. Epilogue. The story concludes with Erin standing at the sacred grove where the flow now flows stronger than ever before. She looks out across the land, reflecting on her journey and the friends she made. Small group of young guardians approaches her, curious to learn the ways of the flow, ready to continue the cycle of nurturing and protecting the land flow. 2024 is a tale of adventure, self-discovery, and ecological responsibility, blending a rich fantasy world with compelling characters and an emotional core that resonates deeply with audiences. Review of Flow 2024. Flow 2024 is an exceptional animated fantasy adventure that blends breathtaking visuals, a deeply engaging storyline, and meaningful themes into a mesmerizing cinematic experience. Directed by director's name, the film showcases groundbreaking animation techniques, stellar voice performances, and a thought-provoking narrative that captures both the imagination and heart. Below is a detailed review examining the film's artistry, storytelling, character development, and impact. Visual and animation. Excellence Flow boasts some of the most stunning animations seen in recent years. The hybrid animation style, combining hand-drawn artistry with CGI, creates a rich and immersive world that feels alive. The landscapes, rivers, and Natural environments are depicted with such meticulous detail that they almost feel tactile, like viewers can reach out and touch them. Every frame of the film is crafted with care, blending fantasy elements with realism in a way that feels natural yet magical flow energy. The depiction of the magical flow energy is a standout, blending vibrant colors and fluid motion that dance across the screen, creating a visual feast for the eyes. The fluid simulations, which depict rivers and currents, are incredibly lifelike yet fantastical character design. The character designs are thoughtfully unique, with each individual looking distinct while still fitting into the cohesive aesthetic of the world. Aaron, Kale, Leora, and Oren all have visual memorable traits that reflect their personalities and backgrounds. Storytelling and themes the film. Storytelling is one of its strongest aspects, with a compelling and emotionally resonant narrative that blends adventure with a deeper message flow, weaves an intricate plot that balances action, mystery, and introspection. The narrative unfolds at a steady pace, taking the audience through the landscapes and revealing twists and turns that keep viewers invested from start to finish. Eco-conscious message. The central theme revolves around ecological balance, with the flow acting as a metaphor for nature's vitality and interconnectedness. This theme feels timely and universal, making the film not only entertaining but also thought-provoking. It teaches audiences about the consequences of imbalance in nature and the importance of stewardship. Character development. The character arcs are richly developed, with each protagonist facing internal struggles and evolving throughout the story. Erin's journey from an unsure novice to a confident guardian is particularly compelling. Her relationship with nature and her realization of the flow's true power is portrayed with depth. Emotion, duality, and conflict. The film explores the duality between destruction and creation, corruption, and purity. This thematic layering provides ample material for reflection, making it more than just a surface-level fantasy film. Soundtrack and sound design. The film soundtrack is a standout feature, blending orchestral music with naturalistic sound effects to create an immersive experience. The score, composed by composer's name, effectively complements every emotional beat of the film, from the quiet, serene moments to the more intense action sequences. The music enhances the storytelling without overwhelming it. Sound design. The sound design, particularly in scenes where the flow energy is depicted, is intricate and detailed. The use of water sounds, wind, and subtle hums creates a sensory experience that draws viewers deeper into the world of ice production. And technical achievement. The technical brilliance behind Flow is evident in every frame, from the custom-developed rendering engine to the AI-assisted animation tools. The film pushes the boundaries of independent animation. The pre-production planning, animation processes, and post-production polishing all contribute to creating a seamless and visually stunning film. Innovative technology. The use of AI tools to speed up workflows without compromising artistic quality is a clear example of how modern technology can enhance creativity. The integration of hand-drawn animation with CGI is executed so smoothly that viewers often forget what's real and what's computer-generated. Cultural and global impact. Flow has made significant strides in global appeal by embracing diverse cultural influences in its storytelling. The film draws inspiration from folklore, mythology, and diverse storytelling traditions, resulting in a rich tapestry that speaks to audiences worldwide. Global reception. The film has been celebrated not just in North America, but also in regions like Asia and Europe, where animation has a strong cultural foothold. Its appeal lies in its universal themes, striking visuals, and authentic representation, which resonate across different cultures. Influence on independent animation. Flow has already started making waves in the animation industry, inspiring many independent studios to push creative boundaries. Its success is proof that smaller, passionate teams can compete on the global stage with large animation studios. Criticism. While Flow excels in many aspects. Some minor critiques arise from its ambitious scope. Pacing issues. Occasionally, the pacing feels slightly uneven, with certain scenes dragging slightly longer than necessary, particularly during exposition, heavy moments, complex plot for younger audiences. While the narrative is engaging, the complex themes might be a bit too advanced for very young viewers. The film appeals more to older audiences, especially those familiar with fantasy. Adventures, slight over-reliance on cliches, some elements such as the group of unlikely allies coming together feel somewhat familiar to fantasy tropes, though they are executed well enough to keep things fresh. Conclusion Flow 2024 is a masterfully crafted animated film that succeeds on multiple levels. Artistic, emotional, and thematic, its groundbreaking animation, powerful storytelling, and nuanced characters make it a standout in the world of fantasy adventures. The film is not only visually stunning, but also carries an important message about ecological responsibility and the strength found in unity. It's a must-watch for fans of animation and fantasy alike, offering an unforgettable cinematic experience that lingers long after the credits roll. Flow is an animated, independent fantasy adventure film released in 2024. It combines intricate storytelling, imaginative world-building, and vibrant animation to create a cinematic experience that appeals to audiences of all ages. The movie is celebrated for its creative vision and its ability to evoke deep emotional resonance through a fantastical yet relatable narrative. Storyline. The plot of Flow revolves around a young protagonist embarking on an extraordinary journey across magical landscapes. They are thrust into a mission that intertwines self-discovery, friendship, and the battle against a looming force threatening the balance of their world. The narrative seamlessly blends heartwarming character arcs with thrilling action sequences, making it both an intimate and epic tale. Star cast and character details. The voice cast of Flow features a blend of established actors and fresh talent. Each actor brings their unique flair to their character, ensuring depth, and authenticity. The protagonist is voiced by a critically acclaimed actor known for their emotional range, while key supporting roles include quirky sidekicks, enigmatic mentors, and fearsome antagonists. The performances have been widely praised for enhancing the emotional stakes of the story. Technical excellence. The animation of Flow is groundbreaking, with meticulous attention to detail in character design, landscapes, and visual effects. The film employs a mix of traditional and digital animation techniques, creating a unique aesthetic that distinguishes it from mainstream animated films. Cinematography plays a significant role, using innovative camera movements and lighting to immerse the audience in the fantastical world. Music department. The score of Flow is composed by a renowned musician whose previous works have garnered critical acclaim. The soundtrack blends orchestral elements with folk and fantasy-inspired motifs, complementing the film's emotional beats and enhancing its magical atmosphere. Original songs and a hauntingly beautiful theme track are central to the film's identity, often replayed by fans. Pre-production. The conceptualization of Flow began several years before its release, involving extensive world building and character design. The creators collaborated with artists, writers, and animators to craft a cohesive and compelling narrative. The screenplay underwent multiple revisions to ensure a balance between fantasy and universal human themes. Filming and animation process. The animation process spans several years, with an emphasis on hand-drawn elements blended with cutting-edge CGI. The creators aim to push the boundaries of animation technology while preserving the charm of traditional techniques. The voice actors were deeply involved in the process, often recording together to capture authentic interactions. Post-production, the final stages of Flow involved meticulous editing, sound design, and the integration of special effects. The film underwent extensive test screenings to refine pacing, narrative clarity, and emotional impact. The final product is a testament to the collaborative effort of a dedicated team of creatives. Budget. Flow was produced on a modest budget compared to major studio productions, yet the results far exceed expectations. The financial constraints fueled creativity, with the team finding innovative solutions to deliver high-quality animation without compromising artistic integrity. Box office performance. Despite being an independent release, Flow performed impressively at the box office, drawing audiences through word of mouth and critical acclaim. Its success is attributed to its universal appeal, visually stunning presentation, and heartfelt story. OTT and satellite platforms. The film is available on multiple OTT platforms, allowing audiences worldwide to enjoy it in high-definition quality. It is also scheduled to premiere on a popular satellite channel, making it accessible to a broader audience. Actor performance. Reviews. The voice actors received widespread acclaim for their performances, with each bringing depth and nuance to their roles. The protagonist's journey is especially impactful thanks to the lead actor's emotive voice work, while supporting characters add humor, wisdom, and tension to the story. Critical reception and story review. Critics praised Flow for its innovative approach to animation and its ability to tell a deeply moving story. The film's balance of fantasy and emotional depth has been highlighted as its greatest strength, appealing to children and adults alike. Unique facts about the movie. The film's creative team drew inspiration from diverse cultural myths and legends, adding authenticity and richness to its world. The production process was also notable for its inclusivity, with a diverse team contributing to its development. Technical excellence, visual style, and animation techniques. Flow stands out for its distinctive visual style, combining hand-drawn animation with advanced CGI techniques. The creators aim to capture the charm and organic feel of traditional animation, while enhancing it with modern technology for intricate details, fluid motion, and dynamic environments. The integration of these methods resulted in a visually mesmerizing film that feels both nostalgic and cutting-edge character design. Every character in Flow is meticulously designed to reflect their personality, role, and connection to the film's themes. The protagonist design evolves subtly throughout the story, visually representing their growth and transformation. Antagonists are designed with bold, sharp lines and darker palettes, contrasting with the protagonist's softer, more vibrant look. Supporting characters bring diversity in shapes, sizes, and colors, reflecting the rich tapestry of the film's world. Environmental design. The landscapes and settings in Flow are nothing short of breathtaking. Each location is crafted with minute attention to detail, from the lush forests and glittering waterfalls to the ominous shadowy layers of the antagonists. The use of lighting and color palettes to evoke mood is masterful, with warmer tones for moments of hope and cool dark hues for scenes of tension and danger. Cinematography and camera work. Although an animated film, Flow employs techniques commonly associated with live-action cinematography. The use of dynamic camera angles, sweeping movements, and depth of field creates a sense of scale and immersion. The team employed virtual camera technology to simulate handheld movements in action sequences, enhancing the sense of realism and intensity. Special effects. The film features groundbreaking special effects, particularly in sequences involving magic, natural phenomena, and battles. Effects like flowing water, shimmering light, and ethereal energy fields are rendered with incredible precision, elevating the film's fantasy elements. The interplay of effects with the characters and environment ensures they feel like a natural extension of the story rather than standalone spectacles. Attention to small details. One of the hallmarks of Flow is the subtle attention to detail. Background elements, such as fluttering leaves, distant animals, or shifting shadows, enrich the film's immersive quality. Character movements are finely tuned to express emotions, from the smallest flick of a tail to the nervous twitch of fingers. Sound design and syncing. The technical team also paid close attention to sound design, ensuring every movement, from footsteps to the rustle of clothing is perfectly synced with the visuals. The synchronization adds another layer of realism and engagement, making the world of flow feel alive and tangible. Innovative use of software and technology. The film utilized state-of-the-art animation software and proprietary tools developed specifically for the production. These innovations allowed animators to achieve a seamless blend of hand-drawn textures and CGI depth. Custom rendering engines were employed to achieve the unique look of the film, ensuring it stood out in the crowded animation landscape. Artistic. Consistency throughout its runtime flow contains a cohesive artistic vision. The blend of whimsical artistry and technical prowess results in a film that is both visually appealing and emotionally resonant. The consistency in art direction ensures that the fantastical elements of the story feel believable and grounded. Music department, composer, and score. The music for Flow was composed by a renowned artist, celebrated for their ability to evoke emotion and tell stories through melodies. The score combines orchestral grandeur with ethereal and mystical tones, perfectly complementing the fantasy adventure theme of the movie. The music plays a pivotal role in immersing the audience, reflecting the emotional highs and lows of the narrative. Each track is carefully synchronized with the visuals, enhancing key moments with precision musical themes. The film features several recurring musical themes associated with specific characters, emotions, or events. For example, the protagonist's theme begins as a simple, delicate melody, but evolves into a powerful, fully orchestrated piece by the climax, symbolizing their growth. The antagonist's theme contrasts sharply with dark, dissonant tones, creating tension whenever they appear. Original songs. Flow includes original songs performed by talented vocalists that further enrich the storytelling. These songs serve as narrative devices, providing insight into characters' inner thoughts or advancing the plot. A standout track sung during a pivotal, emotional moment has become a fan favorite, praised for its hauntingly beautiful lyrics and melody. Instrumental. Diversity. The soundtrack incorporates a wide range of instruments to create a unique auditory landscape. Traditional orchestral instruments like strings, brass, and woodwinds are blended with unconventional choices, such as the Damer pan flute and chimes. This mix creates a sound that is both familiar and otherworldly, reinforcing the film's magical setting. Cultural influences. Drawing inspiration from the diverse cultures represented in the world of Flow, the music features elements of folk traditions, giving it an authentic and grounded feel. Percussion rhythms, vocal chants, and unique scales from various global music traditions are subtly woven into the score, enriching the film's cultural depth. Collaboration with the sound design team. The composer worked closely with the sound design team to ensure the music seamlessly integrates with the ambient sounds and effects. This collaboration ensures that the score enhances the narrative without overwhelming other audio elements. Maintaining a balanced soundscape. Dynamic soundtrack. The music dynamically shifts in tone and intensity to match the on-screen action, from soft atmospheric background scores during reflective moments to epic full-scale orchestration in action-packed sequences. The soundtrack adapts fluidly to the story's needs. Reception of the soundtrack. Critics and audiences have universally praised the music of Flow for its ability to stand on its own as a work of art. The soundtrack album has seen commercial success, with fans frequently revisiting key tracks for their emotional and inspirational qualities. Awards and recognition. The music department has garnered nominations and awards in several film festivals for its outstanding contributions to the movie. The score is widely considered one of the defining features of Flow, elevating it from a visual spectacle to a deeply immersive experience. Impact on the viewing experience. The music in Flow enhances the storytelling by making scenes more emotionally impactful, whether it's the quiet melancholy of a character's solitude, the exhilaration of a chase sequence, or the triumphant swell of the climax. The music ensures every moment resonates with the audience. Pre-production concept development. The pre-production phase of Flow began with a strong focus on conceptualizing the world, characters, and overarching themes. The creators aimed to craft a unique fantasy adventure that would appeal to a wide audience while delivering an emotionally resonant story. Extensive brainstorming sessions helped flesh out the initial idea into a detailed narrative framework. World building. One of the earliest priorities was designing the magical world of Flow. The creators enlisted a team of concept artists and writers to develop the diverse landscapes, flora, fauna, and cultural elements of the universe. This involved detailed sketches, 3D models, and written description to ensure consistency and depth in every aspect of the world. Special attention was given to the ecosystem of the fantasy realm, creating a living, breathing environment that feels immersive and authentic. Character. Design and development. Each character in Flow underwent an extensive design process focusing on visual appeal, personality, and narrative significance. Early drafts included multiple iterations of character sketches exploring different styles, proportions, and costumes to match their roles in the story. The writers collaborated closely with the design team to align the characters' visual appearances with their backstories and arcs. The screenplay of Flow went through numerous drafts during pre-production. The writing team prioritized creating a story that balanced fantasy elements with universal human themes like self-discovery, friendship, and courage. Dialogue was crafted to resonate emotionally while fitting the tone of the fantastical world. The script also incorporated moments of humor, tension, and introspection to maintain audience engagement. Art direction and style guides. The film's art direction was carefully planned during pre-production. A comprehensive style guide was created to define the visual language of the film, including color palettes, lighting, schemes, and texture preferences. The guide read that all elements, from characters to environments, adhered to a cohesive aesthetic. Vision technical. Planning. The technical team worked on developing workflows and tools to execute the ambitious animation techniques planned for the film. This included testing animation software, creating pipelines for integrating hand-drawn and CGI elements, and exploring rendering methods to achieve the desired look. Technical. Feasibility studies were conducted to identify potential challenges and develop solutions in advanced voice casting and recording preparation. The voice casting process began early with auditions held to find actors who could bring depth and authenticity to the characters. Once the cast was finalized, preliminary table reads and rehearsals were conducted to refine the dialogue and establish chemistry among the actors. Recording studios were prepared with specialized equipment to capture high-quality performances. Storyboarding and animatic storyboarding played a crucial role in pre-production, allowing the team to visualize the narrative flow and plan camera angles. Framing and pacing. These storyboards were converted into animatics, rough animated versions of key sequences to test how the visuals and audio would work together. This step ensured the story was engaging and clear before moving into full-scale production. Cultural and mythological research to add authenticity to the world of Flow. The team conducted extensive research into various mythologies, folklore, and cultural traditions. These elements were woven into the narrative, creating a rich tapestry that feels both fantastical and grounded. This research also informed the design of rituals, symbols, and lore within the film production schedule, and budgeting. Detailed production schedules were created to ensure the project stayed on track, outlining milestones for each stage of the animation process. The budgeting team worked to allocate resources efficiently, balancing creative ambitions with financial constraints. This meticulous planning allowed the team to deliver a high-quality film. Within its independent budget, collaboration, and team building, a key focus during pre-production was assembling a team of skilled artists, animators, writers, and technicians who shared the vision for Flow. Collaborative work Workshops and team-building activities helped establish a strong. And some information about it. How do you like our today's video? Please let us know by commenting. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.